pretty much in the business of making sure that your digital products are looking good out there. I've been doing this for like over 8 years now. UI literally is user interface, right? And UX in a literal sense is user experience, right? The user interface just pretty much focuses on the fact that the interface needs to look in a particular way. Why the user experience is how do you actually feel when you use this?
Okay, so it's
user
the look
interface.
and the feel.
Yeah, the look and the feel.
Perfect.
If I rewind back, I think it all started with my curiosity to actually know what is inside the computer. Yeah. I struggled a lot growing up because my English wasn't very good. I'm an Igbo boy, right? So
Okay.
I spoke a lot of Igbo while growing up to the point that I
Hello guys and welcome to my channel. If this is the first time you are seeing my face, my name is Cheta and I create a lot of content in Abuja, Nigeria. You are in the right place. Welcome on board. To my returning subscribers, guys, thank you so much for your love. Thank you for the growth. Thank you for the support. If you're yet to subscribe, please click the subscribe button down below. Like this video because I promise you, you are definitely going to enjoy it. Share it to your friends as well because see, the kind of wisdom that we're about to receive right now is one that so make sure you share it, turn on your post notifications so that you get the next episode of this series because it is a series and it's going to continue from here. And yeah, I have my social media accounts on the screen. So yeah, do follow me and let's get right into today's video. Now, today's video is the second part of an episode, the episode that I'm shooting called How to Join the Tech Industry. And today we have a very, very, very special guest. He's an experienced UI/UX expert. He is a musician. He has been in the tech industry for years now, and he's one with a lot of knowledge that he's about to give us in this video. So I'll just introduce you guys now to CP to give us all the information that we need. So CP, who are you? Tell us about you. Tell us what you do. Just give us all the information. Let us meet you basically.
Right, thank you so much, Cheta. Thank you. It's a privilege being here. What up, what up, what up, everyone? This is CP in the building. You know what it is. I'm part business, I'm part tech, and full-time product designer, full-time music artist, and pretty much in the business of making sure that your digital products are looking good out there. And I've been doing this for like over 8 years now, and I also do a lot of wifey things with my wifey in the marriage section of my life. But that's like an overview of who I am, and truly I'm very happy to be here.
Okay, so in long and short, TP is a married man. In case people are not seeing the ring, he's a married man. And yeah, to just delve into it, Chidi, please let us know what is the difference between UI and UX because it confuses me a lot at times.
It gets really confusing sometimes, but essentially UI literally is user interface, right? And UX in a literal sense is user experience, right? So when you now like look at the difference, we're now talking about what experience do you get when you are using a particular user interface, right? That's if you're trying to define user experience, right? So imagine that you are actually using an iPhone,
okay,
right? And then you have a friend who is using an Android phone, right? These are both phones that are doing the same thing.
Okay.
Not exactly the same thing, yeah. They're doing similar things, right? But the iPhone gives you a different user experience. Why the phone gives you a different user experience, right? So I mean, if you pick up the iPhone, it has its own interface, simple and all of that. So the user experience for iPhone, that's why they are like one of the top producing mobile phones around the world. So the difference here is that the user interface just pretty much focuses on the fact that the interface needs to look in a particular way, why the user experience is, how do you actually feel when you use this.
Okay, so it's the look and the feel.
Yeah, the look and the
Perfect.
feel, basically.
So how did it all begin for you? How did everything start for you? How did you start out? How did you even know about UIUX? Say, oh, let me delve into this, and then you are at this point where you are right now in your career.
That's a very interesting question, actually. Um, all right, so if I rewind back, I think it all started with my curiosity to actually know what is inside the computer. Yeah. So while I was growing up, it was I've always been like a very curious person. So I kept asking questions around how can I create things into existence? How can I design things and stuff like that? While I was in my secondary school, I did like visual art and all of that. I was like one of the only students that did it back then in my class. Yeah, visual art. So visual art is really like drawing anything you can see visually, right? That's what it is. So I struggled a lot growing up because my English wasn't very good. I'm an Igbo boy, right? So I spoke a lot of Igbo while growing up, to the point that I couldn't speak English. So when I was transitioning from my primary school to my secondary school, it was so hard because when the teachers are making detections on in front of the class, I can't write them properly.
Wow.
Like, it's so bad that one day the teacher was making a detection and he was saying, hey, I want you guys to write something about a snake crossed the road. And I picked up my pen and I wrote a snake crossed the road, right?
What?
Based on how I know how to spell a snake, right? So fast forward to 2 hours later, the teacher called me to the boardroom and was like, what did you write here? Can you spell the snake you wrote? And I spelled it Cineck. Snake. Isn't that a snake? I think that's a snake though.
Cineck.
That's
wow.
snake, right?
Wow.
So it was a struggle, but those were my early beginnings, right? I struggled a lot with, trying to learn and open my mind to the curious things that is around me, and eventually I was able to like learn how to speak English properly, and then that kind of helped me communicate better. And that also helped me to now ask the right questions to my teachers, and then they gave me the right answers. And that kind of opened my mind that, oh, okay, these things that I'm drawing in my visual art, I can actually now translate it to drawing in the computer system. Right? So that was how I transitioned from drawing on paper to actually, going to design using Photoshop and, some of these tools. And those things were like what opened my mind up to it. And then by the time I finished with school and I started like designing birthday cards and designing business card and all of that, I started with graphic design basically. And then eventually after I graduated and then I went to my youth service, I discovered that there was something called web development. So I also do design websites. So I started like learning it and stuff like that. So the school did help me during that period to open my mind to it, but eventually I had to do a lot of like late night learning on my own. Yeah, because the school does prepare you to pass the academic section of things, while you still need to like put in the extra bits to
was
also
this
like
after
learn.
uni, like this school now we're talking about?
So this school was during uni, not after uni. Yeah, during uni. So in my secondary school was when I had the problem with spelling snake and all of that, right? So my senior secondary, junior secondary ish, yeah. So that's when I had the problem with my English. So while I was able to overcome that problem, then during my university days, that was when I now started like putting in the actual late night to learn and practice some of those things that you're not being taught in class.
Yeah.
Because back then it's funny that they teach you programming in a whiteboard while you are supposed to magically now be able to use your computer and then do it. It's crazy because back then I was the course rep. I was like, the person that was representing the entire computer science department folks.
For yourself?
Yeah.
By the way, me and Chidi, we went to the same school.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, we were in the same school, and it was really nice to do some of those things back then. So those days, I found the problem, which was that they were teaching programming on a blackboard, right? Sorry, on a whiteboard, and that didn't make sense. So I
had to find a way.
Yeah, I had to find a way. So I kind of took it upon myself to like learn how to do these programs. And what I did is that I started organizing some of these small sections. So after classes, towards the evening time, they all come to some kind of hall, and then I kind of teach them how to actually do it. So I put it on a projector. You remember those days, right?
Chidi taught me because he was a few steps ahead of us. It's true, I can remember.
Yeah, nice. So I started like organizing some private lessons for some persons, right? You know, some of my colleagues were jealous at that time, but it's fine.
Okay. So Chidi, the only thing I heard here is that you had to, or rather the major thing I heard here is that you had to put in extra effort and extra time to really learn a lot. Yeah. So now, what would you say really aided your growth path? Like, you went for a training, you were improving yourself. Were there any specific like formal outside school training that you also went to improve your skills? Was it YouTube? Was it online? Was it Coursera? Was it Udemy? Like, what really helped you, basically?
Okay. For my growth path, it really became evident that I needed an experienced person to like put me through when I got to a certain level of my learning, right? So I had the privilege of working with some persons who were already in the professional work of doing web design and doing some of these web applications and softwares. And back then in the eastern part of Nigeria, it was what's the name of that? I think AfriHub. Yeah, AfriHub was the place I met that dude, and he kind of taught me throughout that period. So they were organizing some sort of training, and during that period I applied, and you know, they were offering scholarship. I wrote the exam and all of that. I was privileged to win the scholarship, and then I was able to like learn. So it was easier for me to ask the right questions during the learning process because I'd already done some private learning on my own, right?
Yeah.
So it's very important that you actually take out the time and do the study yourself.
So that you're not just being
because in as much as I was on scholarship, there were a lot of persons who paid back then. Trust me, paying like
heavily,
paying 120,000 naira back then was a lot of money. But guess what? Some of them, you know, didn't perform as good as I was performing at that time, and they didn't actually mind because at the end of the session there was some sort of examination, and some of them didn't actually pass, right? So it's always a huge added advantage if you actually do some of these private studying on your own, so that you can come out and ask questions on places you're having challenges.
So are you guys hearing? Private studying, it goes a long way. So now I'll ask this question. So myself, I've learned to edit with Canva, right?
Yeah.
Even though I'm not doing the best, I'm doing what I can for my YouTube thumbnail. So do you think, because I know a lot of people that edit with Canva, and they're asking me, "How God, with this Canva that I know, can I now somehow magically enter into UIUX design?" So for someone like that now that has already started out with Canva, what do you think is the next step for them to take?
Well, first of all, I would say that Canva makes life easy for a lot of persons.
Yeah.
However, Canva doesn't make you a designer. There are two different things between being a Canva designer and also a UI UX designer. These are two different things, right? So Canva has a lot of graphics elements. It makes life easy for you to, you know, you can just do some magic. But when it comes to doing UI UX, right? UI UX is specifically for solving specific problem in the space of software development and in the space of mobile applications and in the space of electronic devices. I mean, you have your smartwatch. That is a UI UX designer's work, right? And it's a product designer's work, right? But not a Canva designer's work, right? So it's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm sorry, but Canva makes we UI UX designers look bad because things
Yeah.
that we are supposed to
Actually
actually
build,
build
design.
and design from a very passionate and a very principled point of view. Canva just gives it to you and then you're able to just put it around. Yeah, I mean it's good. I mean it's good for the business model of Canva, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that it makes you a UI UX
UX.
designer. If you want to be
So
a UI UX designer, you
start
still want to go
from
and
the
take some
scratch.
professional classes actually.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
people like us that think that we are doing what we are doing. So if you for those, because I know I've gotten this question a lot,
yeah,
you go for a professional training of some
yeah,
sort.
yeah,
So now, Chidi, do you offer mentorship of any sort? Like if I want to become a UI UX now expert, how do
yeah.
I start?
Oh
Can you help
yes,
me?
oh yes, yes, yes. I do offer mentorship. I mean, in fact, it's one of the major things that I am actually doing now. I have a company called Primesy. You can check it out, primesy.com. It helps
Okay.
you to actually, you know, it gives you the foundation that you need if you want to have like a career change, or if
Mm-hmm.
you're already like a designer and you're already like a junior designer, you want to like become more professional at what you're doing. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we just like go through the mentorship session with us. We run through the curriculum that we have, and then you are able to basically become a professional designer. And at the end of the mentorship session, you are able to get a certification from us to say that yes, you've gone through every curriculum that a designer should know, from the
Mm-hmm.
principles of design to how to use Figma to how to design mobile apps, how to design responsive designs and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. These are like the things we actually do look into. And outside that, if you want to also like
HTML.
go and learn web design also,
Okay.
we also like teach HTML and CSS and web
Okay.
design and stuff like that. And yeah, you can also like go on Coursera. I think Google is doing another certification that you can actually try out and see if it can pretty much give you what you need. So yeah, we offer this training offline and online. So
Okay.
you can, if you're in Abuja, you can pretty much
Have a
sign up and
physical
provide your
training.
location, and you opt in for the physical training. If you are in Lagos or somewhere far away, or
Mm,
even somewhere outside Nigeria, you can also like reach out, and then we'll be able to organize some remote sessions for you as well.
okay, so I personally have worked with Chidi and I can attest to the fact that he's good at what he does.
Yeah,
So I'll put a link in the description. Please go and contact him. He will be very helpful with your journey,
yeah.
like to learning. And he'll be very, very detailed. He's a human being. You can see him here. He can give you all the information. So yeah, I'll highly, highly, highly say you should do that. The next question I wanted to give is just a final, like just give a final thought to people out there that want to start and just like advise them, talk to them. Because you know there are a lot of people that really want to start. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So
Mhm.
what do you have to tell them, like with regards to this? How do you want to push them? Like what do you have to tell them to push them to actually start out now?
Mm.
Basically.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to go into UI UX and product design, first thing I'll tell you is I'll borrow that slogan from Nike. Just do it, right? Just just do it. Don't wait and procrastinate on it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sleep on it and say that you want everything to be perfect yet. Start immediately. Start as
Now.
quickly as you can. Start right now, because tomorrow there will be more opportunities and more applications that will come up, and then you'll be like, oh, you wish you had learned this, or you can't jump on this now because you haven't learned some of the things that you feel like you should
Should have
have learned
learned.
before. And how can you start, right? How can you start? You can start by first signing up for our mentorship class,
Mm.
or you can also start by attending conferences, attending seminars that are around the UI UX space and around the design phase as well. And yeah, just let's connect, and then we'll be able to help you out.
Okay. So yeah, thank you so much. Now, another thing that I want to say is that Chidi is a musician. Yes. CP, sorry, I mix it up. There's Chidi, there's CP. Chidi is the designer, CP is the musician, and he recently released an album, Heaven's Playlist. So, and to be honest, it took me unawares because when he started his music career, he was still actively writing and doing stuff and doing that. So I want to ask you, how are you able to balance your music career and the tech industry? Because a lot of people think it's either you are here or there. So how do you multitask? How do you do it? Because
Yeah, I mean it's a very interesting thing because for me it's just related to what I said before. Just do it. Like in a day, you find out that you have like 24 hours, right? And if you can utilize every single hour of that day, there's a lot that you can achieve, right? And if
hmm,
you fast track that to 1 week later, you find out that you've moved from a point A to like point C or something like that. So, but for me, there are three major things that I try to like bear in mind while I'm actually trying to combine my social life with my work life and my life also being a husband.
aw,
It can be overwhelming sometimes. I mean, let's
ah,
not lie
it
about
can
it.
be you.
But if you actually have established proper priorities, right,
Hmm.
it helps to set boundaries in things that should not interfere with your particular roadmap to what you want to do. And then secondly, you want to also create like a schedule, right? Have a schedule, have some sort of routine that you can be able to use
Hmm.
to make sure you achieve certain things that you want to achieve, right? And then for those of you that are married, of course, you want to make sure you're communicating with your spouse properly, right?
Very important.
If you're not able to maintain a proper communication with your spouse, you're going to cause a lot of misunderstanding. And then when you get back home, home is supposed to be like a safe place for you, and you
Yeah,
find out that home
it's
is
not.
no longer home. You want to spend more hours outside than
Hmm.
you're spending inside the house. And you know, if you have proper communication with your spouse or your partner or your girlfriend, you find out that she would even like be more supportive to what you're building, because
Exactly.
I don't think there's anybody out there who would not like embrace creating beautiful music together with you. I
Yeah.
don't think there's anyone out there that wouldn't embrace creating things into existence that we are not existing, right?
Hmm.
And if you're able to establish those priorities, I believe that you can really achieve anything that you want to achieve, right? It's not going to be easy at first,
Hmm.
but with time, your whole being will get used to the fact that you are a multidimensional human being. So, yeah.
Definitely. So CP's music is on Instagram, is on YouTube, so you guys should go and connect.
Yep.
Do you have anything to say about Heaven's playlist? What was the inspiration? Just give us some rema. Is there anything?
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I mean, Heaven's Playlist was a very recent album I just released, and
Yeah.
it is composed of 12 songs, and those songs are revolving around the fact that even as Christians, we have to experience certain things in the world that we are in,
Hmm.
and those experiences does define how we actually present ourselves to God. Because I mean, imagine if you go to heaven now, what kind of song do you want to hear in heaven, right? We don't know yet, but some of the songs that they sing in church gives us an idea of it. And then I kind of took it upon myself and I was like, okay, maybe I should actually write a song that will make it to heaven's playlist, right? And
Hmm.
that was like my target. So if you go through that album, you're going to find out I sang about love, I sang about time. I sang about, blessings of God. I sang about abundant grace.
Hmm.
I mean, I could drop some punchlines for you guys if you guys don't mind, though.
Please, please, please. We're here for it. We're here for it. We're here for it.
Oh my God. All right. So let's go. The grace is abundant in everywhere. I throw up
Woo!
both hands so I can sail away. Breaking bread like Jesus in anywhere. So I'm not busting weakness, la fade away. On my highway. Hey, hey, chillin' like God's way. Touch rate. Pick up the Holy Book in the church lane. Having a little talk with the chillest God. Like a sub-zero. But it's just a hero. And you know that the shooter is the father with us. One way and they come. I'm can do up the Ricky lead. But somehow we provide for the little kiddos. Man, what to
Hey.
go? What to go? But on the table, who can do? Hey, let's go.
See, you guys, CP is packed. He's multi-talented, song, rap, everything, singing, rapping, he's there. So you guys just go and do the needful and drop him a message or just check his link and start up your journey today so that you do not sleep on this. Now, before CP goes, I know we have taken a lot of his time. He's too important for us to keep him here. But before he goes, I just want to ask him a few questions. He's very social media centric, right? So between Twitter, Threads, Instagram, what other one did I list here? Threads, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Which one do you prefer the most, and why?
Well, I think I prefer Instagram more actually. Right?
Why?
Yeah. Why? Well, I'm gonna be a bit biased. Most of my fan base is on Instagram, right? So, but outside that, I think I like the future. I like the energy. I like the whole being able to post videos and pictures and stuff like that. Although you can also do this in TikTok and other
But
platforms,
on TikTok,
right?
you might probably have to change it to the pictures to a set of like a music.
Yeah, exactly. On TikTok,
Video rather.
there's some things that you will have to do, which is a bit extra, right?
Yeah.
Which I still do, right? I mean,
Of course.
if you go to my Instagram handle, you see the
CP
link to
music,
my
yeah.
yeah.
I'll put everything in the description box.
Thank you. CP official, my Instagram handle, check it out. TikTok, CP official. YouTube, CP official. Facebook, CP official. Right. So I'm more like active on Instagram actually, and I kind of prefer Instagram more because that's where like my major fan base is. But I think there's a lot going on TikTok these days, so I do want to go into doing a lot of TikToking and TikTok dance and stuff.
Yeah. And yeah, just to cut you short, dancing or singing, which do you prefer? Because I notice you're always giving us moves these days.
So, if you had asked me this question like 5 years ago, I would say dancing, right? But I mean, now I have to pick singing because I've been doing a lot of singing lately. So, but I think I'm trying to build the brand to a level where I'm able to like balance it, right? I should be able to do both at the same time. But the thing is, if you're doing like a proper performance on stage, dancing while singing actually drains a lot of your energy. Yeah, most of the artists that you see are able to like carry mic and they are doing what they're doing and dancing. Some of the songs are like lip syncs. They have pre-recorded it, so they are just like singing along. And you know, they'll just switch on the mic when they want you to hear something different, and then they just focus on the dancing and stuff. That's majorly what Chris Brown does actually. But yeah, don't take Chris Brown, know what he does.
You are releasing Chris Brown's secret on this channel. Okay, so finally, Chidi, slash CP, sorry. Yeah. So throughout the course of this interview, you kept mentioning that you're a husband, and that seems like something you really are into. Of course, you're married. So my question is, do you have any advice to give to people out there, especially young people? He's a very young person, by the way. Young people that want to get married, because a lot of people are scared. God, if I get married, my life is over, or like that fear. So do you have any advice for young guys, young girls that want to tap into this early marriage thing?
Okay. Well, I think the first thing about marriage, or thinking of settling with someone, basically, is to actually ask yourself whether you can settle for yourself.
Wow.
So ask yourself if you can settle for yourself, because if you can marry yourself, then you're ready for marriage.
Definitely.
Yeah. So if you can marry yourself, and what I mean by marrying yourself is, are you able to like look into the mirror and be proud of who you are without letting someone tell you, okay, you should do this, you shouldn't do this, you should go tall, you should go bigger, you should eat more, you should get fat and stuff like that. If those things like aren't influencing the person that you are and the identity that you presented to yourself, then you are in the right frame of mind to now welcome someone else into your life, right? So welcoming someone else into your life, of course, starts from the stage of dating, relationship, getting to know the person. Then if the person, of course, is compatible with you guys, I do recommend you actually read this book, 5 Love Languages, right? It's a very big eye opening. I think you could just Google it, 5 Love Languages, right? Read it so that you can be able to understand that partner that you find, what is her love language, right? And what is your own love language? And can this person be able to speak your love language fluently? And can you speak this other person's love language fluently? I'm not saying that you both must have the same love language, right? You can have different love language, but are you able to
compromise for each other?
Are you compatible enough to actually speak this fluently with each other? And if you're able to like do that, and you find out that okay, I think I'm compatible with this person, then I really don't think you should like waste a lot of time. You should actually take the person to the altar and let the Father bless you, bless you, bless you, and then you go into the world and multiply.
Oh my God! See, you guys, Chidi is too knowledgeable. See, we've digressed from tech and we're talking about marriage now from music.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how he is. He's just filled with a lot of knowledge, and yeah, you guys should take advantage of it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. All the information to connect and contact Chidi with regards to mentorship will be in the description box below. So please go and take this lifetime opportunity. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to like, do not forget to subscribe, do not forget to share. And yeah, any last words from Chidi? Any last words from CP?
Don't forget to be yourself.
Woo!
Let's go.
All right, take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.